welcome to this amazing interview. We got a special treat for you guys today. We got the one and only Magnedo7 in the building. How you feeling today, bro?
I'm great. I'm fabulous.
Excellent, man. So, we're going to have a lot to talk about today. You know what I'm saying? We ain't going to waste no time because what a lot of people don't know is that me and you, we had these conversations. And for some people, they may call it conspiracy theory, and it could trigger a lot of feelings and emotions. So I'm putting that disclaimer out there for a lot of people. Anything you want to say to the people?
Okay. If you're triggered emotionally from this conversation, just don't listen to it. I'm just one of them people. Like, it is what it is. I handle my emotions and feelings as a grown. I can't cuss. I'm not gonna cuss like you. As a grown man,
right.
I have feelings and emotions. So I suggest y'all do the same thing. Just chime in though.
Alrighty. So you heard it from him yourself. So they say if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. Right now is your opportunity to leave. All right. So if you're still here and you still tapped in, you can't say you have not been warned. And
right.
One thing I will say, we're not afraid of cancel culture.
No.
We believe in voicing your opinion. We still believe free speech is important in this world that we currently live in. For some reason, recently, free speech seems to only apply to certain individuals. It seems like you can say what you want to say, how you want to say it, as long as you agree with the masses. I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound like free speech to me.
I don't feel like it's free speech at all. I feel like we're far from.
So what's your definition of free speech?
Free speech to me, and a lot of people might tear me up for it, but free speech for me is 70s and the 80s.
Okay.
That's
okay.
Where you may have had some of the people that would come and disturb what's going on, like NWA, Malcolm. You had people coming in and disturbing stuff, but then it's like, we're gonna do what we can, but you got such a big movement of thousands of people saying the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're canceling it. You can't cancel that. Now you cancel with a click.
Right.
Yo, Kanye. you. Oh, hey, cut this water off.
Oh, man.
So, I mean, I feel like anytime you can cut the water off and the lifeline of a person like that, no, we're in the immediate cancel culture. Now, I think it's people like us that just don't care. Right. And, our faith and beliefs and the way we just got our life set up is not based on the support of the people that can counsel us.
Right. I agree with you 100%. I feel like in today's society, I feel like common sense is no longer common. No. Some of the things that just heating up, some of the things that people are trying to based on their feelings, it's not common sense. I'm sorry. It's not common sense anymore. And this is an open platform, so Magneto, you do not have to agree with nothing I'm saying. Let me put that out there. You can completely disagree with me, and we're gonna be good.
Go ahead.
So let's start with pronouns. We're gonna go right out the box with this one. Let's start with these pronouns, man, because it's a lot of talk, and let's just be real. We can keep it respectful and still give our opinion.
Right.
Now, pronouns, I just don't understand it, brother. I really have tried to wrap my head around it, you know what I'm saying? And then, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but the whole conversation of pronouns is confusing.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna respect your platform, bro.
Do you? This is why you are here. Do you?
Oh, my immediate thought is it's not I'm not cussing at all. I'm not gonna cuss. I feel like pronouns. Okay, all right. Let me backtrack. Let me give you my history.
Okay.
Right. I give you my history, and that'll kind of give you the context of why I think the way I think.
Let's have it.
I grew up in church like you. You know, I played whatever, played keys, all that stuff. Played for years. What is it? A century? A decade? It came one of them, right? But I played. I was around mad gay people. It is what it was. We knew. Okay, she like her, he like him. It is what it is. But we called it gay. Of course, sometimes back in the day they used the F word, and I was like, all right, so I'm okay. I went with. I ain't gonna say the F word.
Right.
I'm gonna respect you to the point of not saying that. And you know, whatever you choose to do with your life is what you choose to do with your life. God loves all. Right, I get it. Everybody is sin. Right, I get it. But then when we start getting to the point where we say, well, it's not a sin.
Oh Lord.
Okay, it's not a sin. I give me some context. So I'm listening. And again, I got a lot of gay friends in the music business and real estate business. We're still cool to this day, but they know how I am. Right. I don't hold it. I don't hold back. So even my family, I got gay family. There's nothing. Ooh, I love them, right? But then you want me to, I stopped doing that. Then you want me to say, well, I'm not even gay. I am other. I said, okay, other. Okay, am I other? Because I remember when I had it was like a seminar that we had to listen to at work, and it was like, if anyone ever makes you feel a certain way, just say you're making me feel like other. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm other. So is other related to them and they, and is them and they like it's. So for me, I'm not. No, I can't, because you won't even. I will put it. I will take it here, and I would not want that to be the choice that my daughters make. Right? I want that to be the choice that my daughters make. But let's say they do. Let's say they do. They make that choice and say, Dad, this is the lifestyle I want to live, and I want you to now refer me to me as other. I'm not gonna do that, cause like my country redneck friends, they got bags. They say, how do you pee? Do you pee sitting up or do you pee standing up?
Right.
That lets me know what you are. So I mean, and again, I just don't get it. I'm with you. It's like,
I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%, man. And I know, like we said, you know, us having a church background, I know a lot of people in the world that's really not from that, so they don't go by the same standards as a lot of people that have faith, you know. And for me, I'm the type of person, I say, well, even if I try to break down what I believe down to your standards, it still doesn't make sense to me. I literally, because you know they're pushing it heavy on everything mainstream right now.
Yeah.
So I've literally watched this. I don't even want to call out the movie. I don't want to call out the TV series. But let's just say, yeah, you know what time it is. But there was a scene in this particular show that had, I feel like personally they're trying to push it so people can understand it more. And it's just not working for me. I'm sorry. There was a conversation where there was a dialogue, and the conversation was about they, them, and the way that they used it. See, I'm already getting confused. The way that they used it. See, no, you see, they is the person. You get what I'm saying? It's two people in one. That's the thing. That's the only thing I could wrap my head around. Okay. I believe the way that they use they. See, it's just so crazy. The way that they use they. I just said two different things, and they had two different meanings. So when I say the way that they, I'm talking about the group of people, use they, I'm talking about the person, which is two people. because this person doesn't know if on Monday I am a male and on Tuesday I'm a female, so they identify as they because it depends on the mood.
Okay, my only issue, because right now I feel like I need some wine also.
That's where the world is going.
But my only issue is this. All right, let's say we go with that. Again, I'm a corporate capitalist at heart. So let's say we go with that model, right? And let's multiply that times 10 million people.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Now, what is the state of, because I don't think that it's heavy overseas like it is over here. Right? So let's just say that America adopts that theory, and instead of you being identified as a man or woman, then you're just they, right?
Right.
So we have they, then they want to have sex with whoever, right? And let's say they being two people, with four people having a kid. Now you teach your kid what? What are you teaching?
You teach them how to be confused.
If you have a kid, right? Yeah. And then this is my other thing. Who said that you had to make a choice to be they?
Exactly.
You want to be gay? Do your thing. Just be gay. Prince is a perfect example.
Okay.
Prince kind of said he was the whole gender fluid thing. It was kind of in that space, but all of us as entertainers and the general public will say, "Oh yeah, that's Prince. Right. Prince he's a genius, and it is what that's them." So okay, is that a them? Was Prince like?
So I'm gonna just take the cap off as far as I'm gonna let it all out right now, okay? And so here's what's really the issue for me. So now we talking politics, but here's the real issue for me. I feel like everything that is happening in society today is a direct attack against Christianity, specifically.
Okay.
Everything that the world is doing is not even weird to me because the Bible talks about this. But if you notice, the world is on one accord on a lot of issues that goes completely against the Bible. Okay. They're on the same page on a lot of issues that go completely against the Bible. And there's a trend that's going on. You know, the last time you spoke, we talked about Kendrick Lamar, you know, and the thing that he was doing with the crown. Then you got the baby with him being on a cross. And then it just goes on and on with the imagery. The messages is out there. Recently, there was something that was like a promo for a Christmas movie, and they had the kids up there that said, I think it was, "We love you, Satan," instead of Santa. Yeah. You know, it's just the messages they're throwing out there. They're throwing shots and shots and shots from every single angle. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. This is what the Bible says is going to happen, but I just trying to put it in a way that other people can understand. So you have the entire world lining up to push Christianity out because Christianity is the ops right now. Right. Let's just be real. Christianity is the ops. When it comes to anything political, who stands out as the opposition? People who stand out and believe in Christianity. Yeah. Anyone that's a follower of Jesus is the opposition right now.
Right. I agree with that.
And then it's no secret that we're moving away from cash and going to digital, everything digital. So you see how all the pieces are coming together. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the whole world coming together. So whenever there's an issue specific, for me, I always look at it like, okay, does this line up with the Bible? And if it doesn't line up with the Bible, well, what's going on? Obviously. But that's my take on it. What's your take on it?
Without sounding conspiracy theory-ish? All right. So I'm gonna use logic because I agree wholeheartedly with what you said about the Christianity side, right? I'm with you on that. But let's just think logic. right? If you have less people being in a traditional marriage, man and woman, not just not woman and woman, man and man, because then that's gonna be traditional soon. That's what it's gonna be,
right? That's where we're headed.
Then the exotic thing is gonna be a they and them. There's gonna be the exotic marriage, whatever. But let's just say we all move away from the traditional marriage, and it's 80% of people that just believe in that. What does that look like for mankind in the next 30, 40 years? It's gonna be slim.
Yeah.
Who gonna have babies? They go.
Exactly. I mean, they're trying to do population control,
and
you know,
and that's the main point for me. I think that's what it is. I feel like yeah, they are using Christianity and they are using like you said, oppositional phrases and theories to push an agenda. At the bulk of everything, after it's all said and done, I feel like it's population control. It's a happy population control.
Right.
Like in China, say after you got 2 kids, you got to abort all the rest of them. We can't have no more people over here. Over here, instead of doing that, it's just like, well, you know what? Let's just put this in a few more movies, a few more commercials. Just feed my kids, my 7 and 4-year-old, the thought. So now it's normal, you know. Who has to have kids? Adopt. How you gonna adopt?
Exactly. Now, I hate to keep bringing this up, man, because you know how I feel about it. And so recently, I want to get your opinion on this. Recently, they've been pushing the satanic cult, I should say. They've been pushing their Bible. I said Bible. They've been pushing their belief system in the school system. And they're using the government to back them up. They have a right to have an after-school Satan club. And, you know, pretty much there's nothing you can do about it. If you disagree with it, they shut down your club. Because if they don't have the right to have their club, you don't have the right to have your club. And so that has been their plan to get into every school in the United States of America. They have been very successful so far. Even in my area in Chesapeake, Virginia, they now have a satanic after-school program there. Now,
really,
when you take God out of the school and you elect the devil in, what kind of results can you expect from the youth? Because the school shootings and everything went up through the roof the moment that stuff happened. The violence, all the issues that we're really seeing now really peaked once God was taken out of the school. Now, let's just say you don't try to focus on so much taking God out of the school. Let's focus on just putting certain values into the school. Okay. For an example, now it's fair game for everybody. There is no standard anymore. You can literally be what you want to be. I don't care if you want to be a frog. I don't care if you want to be a giraffe. You can be that. My main concern in 2023, now that I have a 1-year-old daughter, is what kind of environment is she's going to be brought up in school. Because there's no guide. I feel like the guides are gone. The parent has always have to, as a parent, you always should be in your kid's life. Let's not get that twisted. But when you take your kids to school, and you drop them off, who's with your kids? The school system, right? And so you working, you making a living, you getting the bills paid Monday through Friday, and those kids are with them teachers in the school system getting brainwashed. As a parent, how would you recommend someone raise their kids in today's society if you disagree with a lot of the lesson plans and things that are out there being pushed to the students?
Okay. Unfortunately, and I got a lot of principal friends and people in education. I honestly feel like the closest thing to controlling it is homeschooling. But then in homeschooling, you have to look at what state is your partner in.
Mm.
After doing that for 8 hours a day. Then if you don't let your partner be the homeschooler and you join, like they had the homeschool networks and all that stuff, what kind of people are teaching in those homeschool networks? Because a lot of them, who has the capital to be able to be at the house freely and, you know, kind of do a non-traditional job.
Right.
It's not a 40-year-old black man, a 40-year-old black woman that's just chilling.
Mm-hmm.
More than likely, you're going to be in that 30 to 27 age demographic. What they teaching or what they learning on they downtime. They doing this.
Exactly. Yep.
And a little piece of that is going to show up somewhere in their education. So I think homeschool would be one. And then if you can afford it, the Montessori.
Okay.
You know. But last time I checked, like, I wanted to get my oldest in that joint. It's like 15 grand a year.
Yeah. You know, that's a lot for some people.
From first grade to 12th grade.
That's college tuition.
And I got 2. So it'd be 30. It'd be 30,000 a year.
That's really extreme, man. And honestly, you know, I feel like everything that's happening in society nowadays, it's not even for us, it's for the kids that's coming up. Now, let's just hop in a time machine really quick. Can you visualize the mindset of a child today as an adult? Let's say 15 years from now, 20 years from now. 20 years from now, gay marriages is going to be normal. They're probably going to have some technology, you know, people playing God out here, where males can have babies. I mean, it's going to be wild. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be off the chain 20 years from now. Because there's things right now that I talked to my mom about, and she like, now, come again? They did what now? So imagine us being them. 20 years from now, 30 years from now, it's like a different mindset.
So I think about that all the time. It gives me, some of it gives me a little bit of hope because I age me 20 years from now.
Right.
And I know what I'm going to do with 20 years. I know what I'm going to do with it. So I know it's a few of us, even us. Like, think of what we do and the type of message that we put out.
Right.
Of course, the fan base is right here, right now, right? But, I mean, Steve started somewhere. Tyler Perry started somewhere. Everybody started in a certain space. So I think aging us 20 years from now gives them a little bit of hope to offset the foolishness.
Yeah.
That's how I look at some of it. And then some of it is just like, okay, if, like, when they first introduced the idea of metaverse, and the first idea of crypto after the crash, after the Bitcoin crash, right? I started thinking about it, and I was just like, okay, this gives context to why Ralph Lauren and Prada and Burberry and all these other companies would buy stake in the metaverse and offer clothes in the metaverse. Because guess what? All right, I've talked about it plenty of times on live, right? Fast forward it all. We just got COVID introduced to us, right? You knew what it was for you.
Of course.
Everybody saw what it was for the pandemic. What did that do for the mental state of the average person, the average human in the world? Nah, I don't want to be around nobody.
Right.
All right, cool. That's what that's going to be. And now we got job cuts because the government gave out too much money on that PPP and all them joints that everybody was collecting.
True.
The money done ran out. The water's off for that. So now everything's inflated money-wise, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you ain't gonna be able to buy a house. So that forces you to either stay where you at or go somewhere and rent something else. Now, everybody's family, like if you're anything like me, my family don't stay in Georgia.
Okay.
So the easiest thing for us to do, and my aunt was talking to me about it, I was like, yo, don't get caught in it. Yo, just don't do it. She was like, you heard of this Oculus thing? It's pretty cool. I was like, so I already see the cell phone phasing out.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't gonna be no cell phone. People gonna be wearing the glasses and joints, and that's the new norm for them.
Right.
So for us, we have to figure out again how to get in front of it. All right, if that's what they're gonna have, well, let me buy my stake in the metaverse, offer whatever for spiritual discipline, right? And offer that somewhere in that space, because if we don't offer it, you already know what it's about to be. It's gonna be sex, porn, killing.
Now, me personally, it's hard for me to even look 20 years deep down into the future, because I look at everything from a spiritual lens first. Okay. So, like, for me, the way I see the world is the Bible first, and then whatever happens after that. So, it's like growing up in church. So, for me, that's more my mind is still wired. My mind isn't going to change. Okay. So, whenever I think about it, it's more like in the supernatural realm. And I know a lot of people, they're kind of out of base and they're out of touch with that, right? But it's like, to me, that's just how my mind processes information. So, 20 years from now, at this rate, if Jesus doesn't come back, the current condition of the world, in my opinion, would be chaos, about to have the apocalypse, basically. Yeah. When you look at the patterns of the world, the direction we're all headed, I know there's hope out there. There will always be hope out there. Right. But the pattern is not looking good for us right now, brother.
It's not.
It's really not. And people nowadays are so much of a free thinker in a way where I feel like nothing makes sense to anybody anymore. Like, for real. I mean, it really doesn't. Like, it's like it makes sense somewhat, but then again, it don't make sense at all. Like, what are we talking about right now? You know what I'm saying? So when I'm looking at things from that perspective, like, that's why I'm big on, like, every time I say something, you'll see me, I put God first, God first, God first. It's because in a world with so much chaos, you have to look at it from that direction first for guidance, because there is no guidance out here. I mean, you can't look at the government for help. You can't look at nobody for help, really. You know what I'm saying? So we got to follow those instructions. And so that's what I try to do. Now, with that being said, there's always going to be a lot of confusion out there.
Right.
Like, for an example, I'm like, yo, now this is the part where you might hit me in the head. But I'm like, yo, the world is only 7,000 years old. All right? And people fight me on this. Now this is really important. This is so important, y'all. Really listen to what I'm saying here. Forget that I said the world is 7,000 years old, but that's what I believe. But just hear me out. There's a lot of people that have a belief system and they believe facts that were fake. Right. Made up facts. So when I started studying, now this is a recent study, by the way. It just blew my mind because somebody told me, because I had a belief system. I was probably like you. Someone said, the earth only 7,000 years old. I said, get out of here. You tripping. You is crazy. They got trees that's millions of years old. They got rocks and fossils. Those are my arguments, right? And I said, you know what, let me humble myself and just do a little research. Because this guy is looking real nuts right now, saying the world is 7,000 years old, and there's all this evidence out there against it, right?
Right.
And so as I started to dig and dive deep down into the history of science, I was the one that found out that the original scientists actually started practicing science because they thought it would support the fact that there was a creator of the universe.
Okay.
Then, along the lines, the whole game changed by the work of 3 scientists. So all the way up to the 1700s, all the scientists were on the same page. And then all of a sudden, there was 3 scientists that changed the game.
Okay.
So I had to dig a little deeper. I said, well, how is everyone on the same page? I mean, it must have been something really big for these guys to be able to come together and change the game in the way they did, to the point where people question God.
Right.
Get what I'm saying? So what I've learned is that they all had one agenda, and they actually all stated this. Their agenda was to free science from the laws of Moses. Boy, when I found out, you said what?
That's new. I ain't heard that one.
When I tell you, I'm gonna put you on to some stuff.
Creation?
Huh?
The young creation?
Yeah, I'm gonna put you on some stuff.
Okay.
Their goal. Now, when someone got a goal, that's what I set to do. That's what I'm going to do. Their goal was to free science from Moses, because up to the 1700s, everyone believed in the flood. Noah.
Until 1700s.
Yeah, all the way up to the 1700s, there was no dispute. The flood happened. Noah's Ark was real. There was no dispute until these 3 scientists came along and decided to say, we don't need a creator. If you give the universe enough time, process will give us everything that we see here now. And then that third one came out with the whole evolution theory to support the work of the 2 previous scientists who came out with the study of rocks as far as judging their time and the ages. So his theory was created to support their theory, to make it all make sense. But the ambition was to free science from Moses. They became the new standard of scientists. And so now atheism is the primary standard of a scientist, meaning if it's supernatural related, you cannot use that to support your theory. You have to cancel it out. So as of right now, today, 2023, if they could prove factually, like scientifically, that God is real, they would have to throw it out because it has supernatural relations to it. This was mind-blowing. And I said, no way. This is crazy. So that means if they prove God is real, scientifically speaking, they got to throw it out because it included God in it.
Right.
That's what that's what the work did. So I said, okay, all right, that's a strong argument. All right, but I still don't get the 7,000 years. Moving deeper into the conversation, doing a little bit more research, I found out that the aging system is broken. That thing don't work. It never has.
The aging system?
Yeah. The way they age things is completely broken. And I was like, okay, nah, I need proof. You can't just tell me something like this is broken. I need proof. I need to see this. What do you mean it's broken? There was a volcano that exploded. Okay, and I'm just gonna get a volcano.
Okay.
It exploded during our lifetime. So whenever the volcano explodes, you know, there's formation for rocks to form, new rocks, because the conditions and everything is there for it. So they dated this explosion in this rock. They knew for a fact. Now this ain't guessing. This is not estimating. They knew for a fact that this rock is 12 years old because the volcano erupted, it exploded, and they were able to identify that this is formed fresh.
Okay.
They used their same dating system to date things that we've been saying for the longest on this rock. Guess how old you think it was? Just guess.
7,000 years old.
Older.
Older.
Older. Guess.
Older than 7,000.
Boy, this is mind blowing.
12.
Older.
Older than 12.
I'm just gonna give it up to you.
Not a million.
They said 2.5 million years old. And this rock is only 12 years old. And I said, okay, maybe that's just a fluke.
Okay.
Then they pull up the reports. This happens 700% of the time when they test it on different objects that they know the real date. And so that makes me wonder, so if the dating system is that broken, why the heck do people believe the Earth is billions of years old?
Yeah.
Think about it. And I'll tell you why. It's because we've been taught it in school, and it is supported by the scientific community,
right,
who don't want people to believe in a God.
But my issue is going to always be the same thing, right? The Big Bang Theory. They're going to go with
that. That was a lie.
Huh?
That was a lie. That didn't happen either.
I just said, if they say you're going to go with that, who created the bang? Where did the bang come from? I would say God. Right. No, it didn't come from God. It's not a thing. Okay. Where did the rocks come from? God.
The Big Bang Theory. Let me tell you something about that. That's how I know that's not true. The Big Bang Theory was supposedly an explosion that took place out of space that sparked the entire universe. This explosion, there's debris. That's where comets and meteoroids come from, the remains of the Big Bang. If this happened billions of years ago, we wouldn't still be having meteoroids in space. They would have been long gone by now. Long gone. The moon, the gravitational pull, we're going back on that timeline. Gravitational pull, every year the moon is moving further away from the Earth. I don't know if you know that. You can actually look this up. The moon is moving farther away from the Earth. If you take that same timeline of the Earth being billions of years old, how many times do you think the moon would have crashed into the Earth by now? Enough to destroy 2 times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, easy.
So when you do the reverse of the things that they try to say is fact, even that doesn't support what they're saying, their theories. Because let's say it's true, billions of years, the moon wouldn't even be here right now.
True. Big facts. Nobody
thinks about these things, but you got to ask the tough questions, because you got to challenge scientists. You got to challenge professors. You got to challenge teachers.
The issue is this, though. After it's all said and done, if you only got 1, 2, and maybe 1 million more people that care to challenge, then ain't nobody everybody is high, man.
Right.
Everybody's high right now.
Nobody wants to challenge it because they're going to look crazy. You know, I had to tell you right here, 7,000 years, and I had to explain myself, because the whole world, I ain't going to say the whole world, but the majority has been brainwashed to believe that one thing. And so whenever you go against what's normal, everyone going to have an issue with that, because now you're trying to call me crazy. But then I say, this is why it's important to ask these questions. Why do you believe it? Why do you believe the Earth is billions of years old? Because scientists said so. Really? Well, what makes you believe they were right? Because they got rocks that date millions of years. Okay. Have you tested to see if they are accurate? Nah, I'm not trying to hear that. Whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, now your whole system just broke down.
Yeah. I'm not gonna go back and forth with idiots.
Right. Well, are they idiots? I mean, they just believe in everything that was taught, so they might feel smart. I was an idiot because I believed the Earth was billions of years old.
So okay, this is my thing. And it goes back to what I was saying about the other stuff. Everybody's entitled to believe what they want to.
Right.
Right? My issue is when you try to get 1,000 other people to be like, you know, what they said and what it is. Like,
right.
Like, even when B.O.B. came out with the flat Earth idea.
Now, I still don't believe the Earth is flat, y'all. I'm putting that out there.
But I'm saying when he came out with that, I actually listened to it's like an hour or 2 hour long video. I was like, I can see where he would come up with that conclusion. I get it, but that don't make me believe it. Like,
right.
But how many other can we say weak minded? If we're not gonna say idiots, can we say weak minded?
We can say that people that don't challenge.
Okay, yeah. All right. People that don't challenge. How many more is out there? It's 1,000.
A lot.
It's
much easier just to say they figured it out and this is what I believe than to challenge everything you ever known.
Now, this is my thing, because I grew up, you gotta remember, my granddad was a pastor, right? But also a Mason. And I remember going to some of them meetings that they used to have, like little junior Mason meetings.
Right.
And what I saw in there was it's the weirdest thing ever. I don't know.
Listen. I've been to a Mason meeting before, and I'm not a Mason by any means, but I knew deep down in my spirit that it was something off with that. Okay, because you see, from true Masons, they can't invite you in. You have to ask to be in. So they may invite you to an event. And at the event, they may make it so like you're curious and want to know more, but you initially have to ask to be in that. That's just the rules that they had. Now, me personally, I knew right away. Now, this is back when I was doing photography. I got invited to shoot a Mason event, private event, out in the woods. Didn't even come up on Google Maps.
Black Mason, white Mason?
Black and white.
Okay.
They were mixed. Didn't even come up on Google Maps. I get there. There's judges in the building. There's lawyers in the building. There's, just say people with some very high electoral positions in the building. And they all just in there and it's a weird vibe that you get.
Very much so.
One person laughs, everybody starts laughing. One person stops laughing, all the laughs will stop. Like, it's it's like, if you ain't rocking with it, you out of place. But when they shut that door behind me, it was like two swordsmen at the door, and you could not leave. And when you look up to the tradition of it, I believe back in the day when it really originated, that they would kill whoever tried to enter the building or leave. That's the tradition. When they have those private meetings. It's supposed to be secret society. So They had guards at the door. And I was wondering in 2023, would they kill me? I mean, this one 2023, but this is probably like 2019. I was wondering, would they kill me if I tried to go to that door? You know what I'm saying? Because they got judges in here. they got police in here. They got everybody in here. You know, so I knew that was for me.
They kill you. And not only can you get killed, you can get covered up.
That's what I'm saying. They got everybody there.
Yeah. What happened?
They got everybody. The judge, the jury, and the executioner all in the meeting.
So you know, when I grew up with that, and I saw the Bible on one side, Quran on the other side, and I'm just like,
that's weird.
What's
That's weird.
Right? So then it's like, fast forward that. I remember him going and being able to get my mom a whip.
Mm-hmm.
The mom's in her 20s, whatever. She needed a car. He goes to the dealership, done, just drive off with it. So I'm like, and he's like, yeah, one of my lodge buddies
Wow.
on that. So I'm just putting two and two together. And it's just like, okay, well, why wouldn't you be super gung-ho Christianity and being that? Like, even when he passed, bro, the weirdest thing, he was like a first degree something, whatever they call it,
mm-hmm.
with the rings and all that stuff.
Right.
Bro, my granddad had pictures with Martin Luther King, like, in his studies. So I'm just like, what's this? So soon as he passed, like, I'm gonna say 6 hours later, they come to my grandmother's house, get all of his stuff from his, we call it his study,
right.
but it's like his,
mm-hmm.
got all his stuff and jetted with it. So I was just like, what was that?
Men in Black. Men in Black, just like in the movies.
Bruh, but to see it, and that probably I had graduated from college, so I was an adult, but mid-20s, I'm just like, yo, it's
real
stuff.
Yeah.
So after seeing that, and now seeing what's happening worldwide, because he used to always say stuff like the plan and this and that. I was like, well, what's that mean? Like, because I always been curious. I'm asked 1,000 questions about everything, and he was just like, yeah, don't believe this, whatever you heard with that ain't what it is. And now, 10 years later, I'm just like, yo, like you said, it's been a plan.
Yeah.
And
it's all coming together. Now, me personally, my beliefs when it comes to Masonry, I believe that's the spirit of the Antichrist, because everything that they support, it goes against Jesus. They kind of support the ideas of Lucifer as if he's not the bad guy in the situation. I won't be there. A lot of their philosophy lines up with him being that light, you know, that star.
Okay.
And so for me, I already knew that's a red flag. I'm out, deuces. You know what I'm saying? I ain't had no parts in it. I'm good. You know. Now,
but that meeting I went to, that was the only one. I was just like,
yeah, me too. That's the only one. I didn't need nothing else. Yeah, I didn't need nothing else after that. All right, so I'm gonna keep us on a lighter note really quick, and we've been talking about some deep stuff. Like, I don't even know if they'll allow us to post this. Like, for real.
It's gonna get flagged.
We talked about everything. We talked about population control. We were talking about I can't say the C word. We talked about that too.
But bro, if you look at it, just look at what's going on, bro.
It's like, obvious.
We don't talk about it. And you know me, I'm music industry. Like I said, capitalist. Right. I like to take care of what I need to take care of. But when Ye did his thing, and then the water gets cut off like that,
right?
It's just like, just prove the point. Like,
now let's talk about Ye real quick, man, and then we're gonna wrap it up. But let's talk about Ye. We can't just skip over, you know, all the things that he has going on right now.
He's newly married.
Yes. So you already beat me to the punch.
Congratulations.
He went missing, and they spotted him with a mystery woman, and suddenly, not only was this a mystery woman, he's married. He remarried. They had a video of the wedding and everything. The full works. Congratulations to Ye on your marriage, you know. Now, let's talk about the idea of Ye right now in society.
Okay.
Me personally, I'm just giving my take. I don't think the man is crazy. I think he's strategic in how he moves. I believe he understands his platform and that how things will create a reaction and a response.
Right.
But he's gotten so good at it, he's found a way to attack the people he wants to directly. And
I
he's not,
agree.
and he's with all the smoke, so he's not worried about what's going to come back and hit him, as long as he talks to the people he's trying to talk to and put them on blast.
Right.
Now, with that being said, a lot of people got mixed feelings when it comes to Ye, and it's bias. Either you believe the rumors that, oh, he's going through a mental breakdown, he's just crazy at this point. But for me, I always look in, where's the lie? So when I look at things like that, that's how you're able to pull things out and cancel out the noise. Because when it comes to the media, there's always a lot of noise to cover up the truth. And so when Ye speaks, it's going to be a lot of noise. You have to be ready for that. You can have an hour interview and the media will talk about 30 seconds. And then that whole 30 seconds was everything. Nothing else was said. And so when you look for where's the lie, I find it unique that out of all of the things he called out, nobody has disagreed with those things. But they have found the convenience in focusing on the highlights. What is your take on that? And you're in an awkward position because I know you're in the music business, but give me your take the best way you can.
So my initial thing, and I talked about it on Mad Lives, but my initial point with Ye with the Jew comment, right? I said, okay, I got Jewish friends.
No.
And I got a lot of friends. I just said, well, I'm gonna say it like that. I got a lot of friends: gay, Jew, black, white, redneck, Indians. Like, I just got a lot of friends, right? And when he said that, I immediately thought about the Jewish communities in Georgia. Is one main one. I'm not gonna call out that side of town because it's just not necessary. But you go in that side of town, they have their own policing system. They have their own Whole Foods, their own Good Tar Center. They own everything, right? When Friday comes, everybody respects the religion and nobody drives cars on Friday. So in Atlanta, think about Atlanta traffic. Everybody else driving heavy. They don't. They walking on the sidewalks in the black hat and that outfit, kids, wife, and the husband. Every time, every Friday. So that lets me know that they have their system together.
Community.
All right. Right, community. So when Ye did what he did, I was like, okay, I'm with some of the smoke. I like what he's trying to do. But fast track it to, like, put the ball in our corner. When Friday comes, let's just say it's payday Friday. Let's say every Friday is payday Friday for black folk. And Ye's doing what he's doing. He drops a sneaker. Right now, if you drop the sneakers, the originals would go to Finish Line. They go to Reebok, go any of the online platforms. He can go anywhere to promote it. Network, right? Cut the water off. Cut his water off. Now, who black or what black association or group of people have the ability to keep the train running after he made that type of statement? And that was my issue, because it's like, yo, I can dig it, I can apply it, but I ain't got 100 million to give him to keep the brand going.
So in other words, you saying he had the money where his mouth was. He was able to back up what he was saying. Even if they were to turn the water off, he had enough to put it back on, even if it was just temporary.
For him.
For him only.
For him.
Right.
Now, you look at him, and I'm going to just say 300 staff. Let's say he got a Fortune 500. 500 people work for him. You paying for now you just picked up your own distribution, which you might be able to sustain that for a couple months. Then you got to figure out your marketing, because you didn't have to pay for that technically. Yeah, it's my brand. No, you still use Def Jam, Universal, Atlantic. You use NBC, ABC, even YouTube.
Right.
I ain't gonna owns it.
He went in. He definitely put the list out there.
Right. But these are avenues that you had to use to promote your business, which sustained lifestyles for all these people that work for you. So the fact that you were bold enough.
But to me, that supports what he's trying to say, because it doesn't make sense.
Who's that hurt?
It's gonna hurt other people more than him, in my opinion, because I feel like he's at the place where he's trying to figure this thing out. Okay, nobody's perfect. We've all sinned. Let's start there. And with him changing his life and trying to give it to God and humble himself in a different way, it's still new to him. And so he's learning some things that he's like, okay, I'm going to apply this to my life right now. His delivery ain't all the way there. You know what I'm saying? As far as being wise, he's going to still make mistakes. He's still new when it comes to it. But I do see potential in him. I think it's ironic if you can call this man a genius on Monday and then call him crazy on Friday. I don't get that philosophy.
Crazy.
No, not you. I'm just saying society. You can call him, oh, he's a music genius and he's done all these wonderful things, and then he says something you don't like. He's crazy. He needs his medicine, you know. And then the text messages with the you know what I'm talking about? Like, this ain't all crazy stuff he's talking about. It's some substance to it.
It just okay.
It's the bias that's created by the media. Right. That's my stance on it. You know, the narrative.
But okay, who black has the platform to compete?
Jay-Z.
What Kanye
You asked.
No. Jay-Z is in bed with a lot of people.
This is true.
And
this is true.
Jay-Z has a lot of funding from different places.
Very true.
So what makes you think that he could back that statement without cutting him and Beyonce's water off? And you know good and well, Jay-Z is he's all about himself from the jump.
Yeah, that's true. Now, I think the bigger question is, they don't want to. Like, why would they? Why would they do that? Why would they put themselves out there like that? They're on a different path completely. Kanye, or I should just say Ye at this point, he's definitely trying to turn over a new leaf. Now, if I'm going to be honest, I do believe his relationship with his kids sparked a lot of what's going on. A lot of screw it, you know, I'm just gonna, nobody's listening to me. Right. I think most of your issues start at home. And with his kids, he doesn't feel like his voice is being heard, because he's definitely mentioned it in multiple interviews. He's like, if I say I want my kids to go to the soccer game, and no, they're gonna tell me no, because we already got plans. It's like, I gotta ask for permission to say anything with my kids. It's like my voice means nothing.
My only issue, and I'm big on accountability. I'm big on accountability. My only issue is when you started your lifestyle, you started your family.
Right.
You knew who you got pregnant. You knew what the family was.
Right.
You transformed into being this thing, and now you went back to the original you, when you should have just found somebody that was in your space.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you were the high value man. But you were the high value man, and you had to go for a high value woman. Why? Why you couldn't find somebody that you can empower and help make her who she need to be?
That's true.
No, you wanted the trophy, and unfortunately, that's what comes along with that's the consequence.
So okay, now we go all the way left with this one, but so are you implying that he didn't have real genuine love for Kim Kardashian, or was it just a trophy? Was it a lust thing or was it a love thing?
All right, I'm gonna say it like this. I'm gonna say it like this because I know you love to mess out your wife, right?
I love it.
You love to mess out your wife. You would do anybody try to come, you shooting automatically. All right. Look.
You said shooting like Kim?
I'm shooting. But anyway,
I defend my wife. Yes, that's
so
my fault. Yes.
How many times have you seen or heard Kanye talk about, I got the baddest one, I got this?
That was the type of music he was putting out. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that don't tell me how much you love your wife. That tells me the infatuation for attraction.
Okay.
That don't tell me about love.
I can see where you're going with this. I definitely can see where you're going with this.
My wife, I feel like my wife is the baddest.
Right.
Ain't no like that. Yo, when she beat up our jogging pants, she's the same one, right? But I'm not on every social media platform. Every time I post anything that's regarding marriage, I'm talking about how pretty she is. Like, no, we talking about legacy. We talking about this and that. Now you want to talk about legacy because she didn't cut the water off and she holding the ransom. Now you want the black community to get behind you.
So back to what I was saying. In the other way, I don't know if you went around the bush on this one, but you don't believe it was a love. You think it was lust.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All day. All day.
Wow. And then out of that lust, he has these beautiful children that he loves.
He loves the kids.
Right.
See? Loves the kids.
But all the times he does say all the time, I want my family. I want my wife back. Well, now he got a new wife, y'all. So
now look. Now look, okay. Now this is my other point. When I said marry somebody that was made for the original Ye, right? Mm-hmm. The original Ye, what was he? The college dropout, the boom bap, the good music, the I care about black, the black cause, all this stuff. That was the premise of the original Ye. I want to create this stuff. He married the person that was a designer for his stuff. She's not elaborate. She's not a trophy wife. Mm-hmm. She's helping him with this. And he's in love with that. So that's what it should have been from the jump. You were trying to one up Jay-Z for real. If you want to you were trying to one up Jay-Z at the baddest, but Jay actually loved
Magnedo up here shooting shots, y'all. I don't know what's going on. Let me get my vest. Let me get my vest right now, my helmet. Let's go. I got on a full armor guy, y'all. Let me let you know that right now.
And I did good. I does none of this interview.
This just went real crazy, like.
But yeah, bro, I don't know. No. Don't try to get me to be down with your cause and try to get the black people out. Why I want my kid. No, bro. Like,
yeah, I agree with that. He was very upset with people who didn't support him when he was in his time of need. He said that Kim Kardashian pretty much kidnapped his own kids from him. I thought that was a stretch, you know. So like, I'm not 100%. See, this is why I love not listening 100% to the noise, because I'm able to pick out, like, okay, that he crazy on that one. Okay, this one has some value. So I'm able to pick the value out of the things he's talking about and disregard the trash. So I'm like, where's the lie? Because it's like he's speaking a lot of truth. Now, his statement about Hitler and the Nazis, you have to really have on your thinking cap to try and pick. You need your magnifying glass to understand what he's saying in that statement. Okay. Of course, it's a bad choice of words. Of course, he could have corrected his choice of words and didn't. Right. So he has to wear the full weight of what everyone believes his intentions were.
Right.
He has to own that because they gave him the opportunity to, all right, is this what you really are saying? And he doubled down.
Bruh, it's been like this from the beginning.
This is true.
Like,
and so
George Bush hates black people. They love these niggas more than the Nazis.
Do you believe this? Do you believe it? Do you believe that? I'm gonna say it. Do you believe that? You know, I don't hold my tongue for nothing, but this right here.
He meant do I believe he meant the Nazi thing and believe?
Do you believe he loves Nazis? I mean, he said, I love Nazis. Do you believe that's what he meant by that? Do you believe that he believes Nazis is a benefit to society or had a value to society? Because the reason I asked this, Kanye was not the first person that said this.
Right.
He was the first person that said it that people didn't like. There were other celebrities that have actually said what he said before he said it. And people like Charlamagne the God supported them in their statement. And I can roll clips, so we ain't got to do all that. But supported them in their statement, was very supportive on their theology about it. But when it came to Kanye West, he didn't get the benefit of the doubt because people are already on edge with him.
Right. I don't personally feel like it has the weight that we put on it from him.
Right.
From him. I don't feel like it has the weight that we put on it.
What do you think he meant by it? What do you think he meant by it?
The same thing he said he said he loved Trump. I get that. Right? He said, like, okay, all right, Kanye is a very compartmentalized type of person, from what I can see. Right? So he'll shoot off and say, "Pizza kills black people," right? And then go on to talk about a beat or something. All right.
True.
Like,
true.
You know what I mean? He'll shoot off left field and come back.
He'll do a hit and run.
So what I think is, yeah, he believes a certain part of it, but the aspect that he's talking about is probably not killing Jewish people.
Right.
It's probably from and I'm not caping, so please don't. Yeah. I'm not. But it's
You're not trying to save him. You ain't trying to save him.
No, I'm not trying to save him. But I feel like it's from okay, Hitler was a great leader because he got this many people to do this. Now, what they did was terrible, right? But how he organized that, oh, okay. Yeah, that's that mother. So I think that's where he's leaning. And then when it hits media, it puts Jew, then I love Nazi. Then they put it together, and it's like, this is what he said.
Exactly. Now, I'm glad you said your perspective on it because I've been itching to talk to somebody and wonder if they could hear this side of it. Me personally, I feel that what he said was taken out of context.
Right. Because
if you listen to the entire hour plus of that interview, the context in that he was speaking is that basically God created all of us and God loves all of us. Those are the context. Meaning that there is nobody that, if you're a true believer in Christ, you should not be able to love.
Right.
That's the context.
But you see how you had to circumvent.
Yeah, that's the context. That's the context of what he was speaking. So when he was saying, I love Nazis, he wasn't saying, I love the Holocaust and what they did.
Exactly.
He was not saying all those things that people are implying. What he was trying to say was, I love people. a very poor job and a poor choice of words, and he has to weigh that. That's why I said his fault. What happens, because he had the opportunity to explain it, but he let his pride get in the way and double down on what he said.
But even okay, and I've talked about this on the pod. I feel like it's a little bit of like autism there, and I am not trying to be funny. I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a slight bit of autism, which creates the genius, right?
Right.
Even with me, I know I got a little bit of ADHD. It creates the genius in being innovative.
Mm-hmm.
So for him, it's like a. I tell my wife to all the time. It's like a Ron Burgundy movie.
Okay.
Like, I love Lamp. Like, it's random, but that's a part of the genius. That's why we love Kanye.
Right.
When he black skinhead, think about it. He did like
they call him a free thinker.
Now, for me, I like that kind of free thinking.
Yeah.
I like that. When it comes to you trying to push your agenda, notice, I don't feel like Kanye's ever tried to push his personal agenda on people. He just tell you what he feels.
Right.
And dance on something. I'm not trying to sell it to you. I'm just telling you what I feel. Unlike what we see in the media, what we just finished talking about. Oh no, you don't believe me? You don't believe it? All right, well, do this. How about this? How that feel? The baby.
Oh my goodness.
And even though I know how you feel about him, but was all of that happened necessary to prove a point?
Of course not.
Who did it?
I mean, like Kanye, you gotta own your decisions you make. I think I don't to say that these people got into these positions and they're naive, right, and they don't know the impact that their words have would be disrespectful to the art in general. They know exactly the power that happens behind the words and the way people are going to take it.
So why is it being okay for the city girls to come out? F this, that N ain't
it's
nothing.
Not okay. It's not okay. Not with me, but the world
right.
Don't agree with me because I follow the Bible. The world is against that.
Yeah.
It's not okay times 10, times 1,000. But you're talking about the world. You know, the devil is the ruler of the world. You know what I'm saying? So whatever he likes, the world likes. You know what I'm saying? That's the desires of people that are into God. You know, right, the desires of people that are into Jesus. So, so you asking me what I think? You already know it's enough for me. Straight up.
But I'm just saying, like I think what's the word that he kept using? Anti-septimism. I can't remember what the word.
That's a popular word all of a sudden.
That's right. When Kanye came back out and he said, "No, the real anti-symptomatic word." Whoever watched.
Don't get me on your loop.
I'm messing it up. When the real one is when you turn on the radio, you see F this N, steal that money, kill this N, F his B. And then the first thing, if you listen to urban radio, it's going to be one of those mixtures. That's going to be every song.
Right.
So whose community is it pushed to?
It's
who has the power to push it to the community? Right. And who capitalizes off of it?
Now,
and
I had Crazy Bone on the platform, and you know there was this video of him talking about the overall plan.
Ready to know. Yep.
And the backstory to the reason we have all of this stuff going on right now. It was all by design. None of this stuff is an accident. It was really designed to populate the prison system.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So
we talk about that.
Yeah, so if all of this is by design, this is the problem I got with the black community, y'all. And I don't care if you like me, it's okay, because God loves me. But here's the problem I got with the black community. we're not stupid. We understand what happened, when it happened, how it happened, and why it happened. The issue I have with us is we don't do anything to change it for the better. You can point the finger all you want to and say it's because of this, that, and the third. But what are you going to do to change it? We know if people come together and work together as a team instead of beating ourselves up, that we can make things happen. But instead, we kill each other. We know the guns that's in the street, the other end is most likely a black person. We understand that we look dangerous. We know this. I'm going to keep it real. I can walk to a parking garage and identify a dog right now. And I know mentally if I'm going to walk over there or not. Now, does that mean I'm scared?
You know what time they're on.
I know what time they're on. I know how to peep game. I know why you in a parking garage just standing here. Who stands in a parking garage? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not just being scary. It's just I understand. It's a little wisdom there. Like, okay, why are you just standing here? You ain't got no car, but you in a parking garage. Like, if I don't see no photographer taking pictures of you, it's an issue. Call it what you want. If I was white, they'd call me Karen or something. I don't know. But I'm just saying, just the fact that we have this information, we have this knowledge, why do we take pride in being so dangerous?
I think the next, and that's what I would also say, the next generation, I think we'll see the split.
Right.
We'll see the split from the kids. The kids is growing up with parents like us, you know, both parents in the household, traditional upbringing. They'll be half of the population. Then the other half is gonna be the other stuff. I think we'll just some things will be worse, but I think we'll just see the split. Like, it'll be a clear split, even with classes. Classes will show the split even more. Because you have let's say your show is nationally syndicated. Mine's nationally syndicated. What type of content we putting out? If we offer education, what we putting out?
Right.
It's going to speak to a certain group of people.
That's true. That's very true.
You know, and it just is what I don't like to say we half of them going to get thrown away and the other half will. But that's kind of how I look at it. Like, I already know, like even with contracting business, I've tried to hire certain people that look like us. And always, well, not all of them, there's been some good ones, but a lot of the times they've shown and proven, oh no, you just trying to do what you see on Instagram. You trying to do what you saw Thug do. You know? And for me, that's why I love Kevin Samuels. He keep telling the women, this is what, if you do this in your 20s, what type of dude you think you're gonna get? And help you rationalize. I feel like we just gonna see the separation, bro. We gonna see it. It's gonna get worse. It's
Listen,
gonna get worse. But
I'm pray Jesus come real soon.
No,
Let's get us out of this situation, man. So
come in their lives.
Right.
I don't want this guy to part yet.
So look, before we go, I want to give you the opportunity to plug in your podcast and tell people about what you got going on really quick and let them know, man.
All right. So my podcast, my platform is the Mad Lucrative Network, Mad Lucrative Podcast. We have a lot of shows coming. Right now we're only shooting, well, not only, it's a lot, but we're shooting the Mad Lucrative Podcast, Lucrative Lounge, Lucrative Taste Buds, Lucrative Love. Wait till you see that joint. And we got a family show. We're shooting a family show. And my girls got their own show as well. And my wife did kill it, but we're doing a lot.
Okay, you got something over there like the Magneto Network. Like you got everything going on. Oh man, and just give some words of encouragement, you know, with all the life experience you got, and then let's just close out with legacy. That's my big question. What is your legacy, and what do you want to be remembered for?
Okay. So I guess words of encouragement, I would say, if you can't see past where you currently are, change how you think. Period. That's been one of my things that's pushed me through some of the hardest time when I was halfway homeless. You know, well, not just me and my wife halfway homeless. That's what pushed us. Change your mindset. We focused on God again because you lost focus at some point and we had to get back in line. And then legacy, honestly, bro, I want my legacy just to go past my family. I want to go through me, onto my family, onto millions. Because I think that's the best example of showing people God. If you can't help them change where they currently are, change how they think, change how they view, change how they treat their spouses, change how they view their family, what you doing it for? You know, why are you doing it? That's my legacy. I just want to provoke thought and freedom and love. Like, and
I can dig it.
No matter if you are them, they are.
Now, look, we going to disagree on that right here, right now. Because I'm see, look, why you trying to do this? I'm trying to close out. See, this is my brother, y'all. We can talk all day. Like, this is definitely gonna be the longest episode of Key Legend Talks, like for real. Yeah. But so you got me started up all over again. But I will say this: if you identify as whatever you identify as, and you want somebody to call you or address you as that, I'm sir, okay? It's going to be yes, sir. It's going to be no, sir. And that's what I want to hear, all right? And so if you can't respect me enough to call me sir, don't expect nothing like that in your return when it comes to them, they, it was the other ones. At this time, giraffe, frog, tiger.
Yeah, see, now you're shooting shots now. If you do that, then they're gonna be mad.
I don't care. Get mad. Get mad. You ain't gonna make me upset. I'm just keeping it real with you. If you got a problem, you can talk to me about it, and I'm gonna give you something that you really need for your soul. All right. So if you really ask me for my opinion or my perspective, I have every right to tell you how I feel, just like you got every right to tell me how you feel.
Right.
Now, the difference between me and how you feel is I base mine off truth. You base yours off of just your feelings. So I'll leave with that. Y'all have a good one. This is Key Legend Talks. I know people gonna get mad. I know people gonna get upset. And I'm letting you know right now, Jesus loves you too.
It's in love.
Jesus loves every single one of us. I'm not singling nobody out. I'm not calling nobody. I'm not just trying to pinpoint your lifestyle, saying that you just a sinner, because there's people out here doing all things under the sun and they are still sinning. So don't take it like, oh, you just coming at us. What about alcoholics? What about this, that, and that? They all guilty too. Guilty as charged unless you're covered by the blood of Jesus. And if a lot of people don't like that, then you know, I'm gonna pray for you. Yeah. That's all it is. I don't have to go out there and try and crucify you. I'm not trying to judge nobody, throw stones at nobody. But if you ask, you gonna get these answers.
They don't want to ask that. No.
So if you don't want the answers to the questions, don't ask them. Is that fair?
That's fair.
But if you ask them, I have every right to explain my perspective and my opinion. All right. And we talked about a lot up here today. Woo! I don't even know if I'm ready for this one.
I don't know, bro. You might want to edit that jump down.
We gonna see, brother. Look, I appreciate you so much for coming through. It was awesome having you on the platform, man. We definitely gonna have to chop it up again in the future.
Yes, sir. I'm down. You holler
I
at me.
got you.
All right.
A king and a legend, boy. That's a big one, huh?
He ain't enough to just be a king.
And you got the lion in the background, boy. You's a dangerous guy, man.
You are put through the fire. The only thing that kept me going was I knew it was going to happen. I believed it was going to happen.
So I used to print out that list, and I would put my name at the top. I would white out the person on the top, and I'd put my name. And I would print out that list, and I'd keep it in my pocket for the next 4 months. Until one day, the email that I got had my name at the top.